Fatal Fury in New York City, Times Square. And let's say that the event overall did not live up to expectations. We saw Rolly Romero at his very best and Ryan Garcia at his very worst.
This is a huge upset for Rolly Romero. He dropped him early in the fight, and after that, it seemed like Ryan couldn't get his rhythm. Ryan Garcia is going to have to beat these allegations now. People are saying, no more Ostarine, no more left hook, no more timing, no more good Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney won, but he also had a shitty-ass performance. Let's not forget that.
He did win easy, but man, the fight was so boring.
Look how scared he was fighting. I mean, this guy was petrified to even get touched by a jab. This might have been worse for Devin Haney than Ryan Garcia.
Canelo got the UD win. This fight was a waste of time.
You cannot blame Canelo. William Scull decided to do a Shakur Stevenson ×2.
Easy work for Canelo, and now he moves on to fight Terence Crawford.
I just think once he gets into the ring that night with Canelo, he's going to realize that he messed up.
Welcome back to another episode of the Last Round Podcast, where we cover everything from traditional boxing to influencer boxing and everything in between. In today's episode, we'll be going over Fatal Fury in New York City, headlined by Rolly Romero as he upset Ryan Garcia, as well as going all the way over to Saudi Arabia as Canelo Alvarez became a two-time undisputed champion over William Scull. But before we get into the episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on all forms of social media. Lastly, we're trying to build up a community on Discord, and you guys joining would be greatly appreciated. But now, diving into the episode, let's start off with Friday. Fatal Fury in New York City. Big event. Turkey wanted to make something big, a huge spectacle, and he did it in New York, Times Square. And let's say that the event overall did not live up to expectations.
Not at all. I mean, it completely underperformed all three fights, really, which is kind of crazy. I mean, Turkey literally makes these great matchups for 3 triple headers, and every single fight was bad, so it was actually a pretty bad night of boxing. I think it might have been Turkey's first ever bad event, which no hate on him, it's not his fault. And the fighters just came out, specifically Devin Haney, and just decided to put up some very mediocre, boring performances.
Yeah, I feel like I'm seeing a lot of criticism towards Turkey. They're like, oh, he's the man behind the reason why we did not have a good weekend of boxing. But I feel like at the end of the day, the fighters have to come and try to fight and maybe make it entertaining for the fans. One thing though, they did make history. It was a very historic night. It was a night where that's never gonna happen again. We're never gonna see that card, an event similar to what we saw on Friday. But I guess that does suck because the fans were expecting a lot more. The people who were there were expecting a lot more, and it just did not live to the hype whatsoever.
Yeah, Turkey put all that money. I'm sure he lost millions because, there was no gate. They just put a little fence over, and I think invited a couple of people to the event. And just that type of performance wasn't the best. Hopefully he makes it back in pay-per-views because I don't want him to leave boxing.
Yeah. So let's start off with the main event. First off, Rolly Romero defeated Ryan Garcia in a massive upset to become the new WBA regular champion at 147. Now, this was a massive upset. Ryan Garcia went into the fight as a -1,000 favorite. Big money on him, big expectations on him. Remember, the last time we saw Ryan was the Devin Haney fight last year. After that, he got suspended. He's been through a lot of, stuff outside in his personal life. And he finally came back to the ring to take on Rolly Romero, who has not been in a very good form. He lost against Tank Davis, got gifted a TKO win over Barboza, lost against Pitbull Cruz, gave a mediocre performance over Jimenez. I mean, he has not been looking good, and which is why a lot of people were downplaying him, saying, Rolly Romero is no match to Ryan Garcia. Yes, they had that infamous spar back in 2017 that's been viral ever since, but compared to the form they're at now, Rolly Romero stands no chance. And I thought so too. I didn't think Rolly Romero was going to be much of a matchup for Ryan Garcia. But this past weekend, we saw Rolly Romero at his very best and Ryan Garcia at his very worst. Thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like you said. Rolly, he did what he had to do. He dropped him early in the fight. The second round, catches him with that hook, puts him on the canvas, and after that, it seemed like Ryan couldn't get his rhythm. I mean, it seemed like Ryan was just not in the ring. I mean, horrible performance. He couldn't really let his hands go. He had no urgency. I mean, Rolly was winning these rounds, not by much, but he was winning them based on activity and going forward. And where's the urgency from Ryan? Nowhere. He just cruised to a very easy defeat against Rolly, and and then he started crying after in his car. So.
Yeah, I think for me, Rolly did a really good job of sticking it right to Ryan. Making sure that he was the guy that had he was the guy who had the bigger punching power, the guy who hit the hardest, and he showed it right away. In the second round, boom, caught him with the left hook, went down. Ryan wasn't hurt, but I think after that it really messed up whatever game plan he had in store for Rolly, and then he just decides to take it very slow, very cautious, and just not risk anymore. But one thing that I do want to address is the fact that I think a lot of people have been coming. Just sending hate a little bit towards our way, saying that, oh, you guys are casuals. Oh, you guys don't know anything about boxing. You guys don't have any fighting experience whatsoever. But everyone thought that Ryan was going to knock out Romero.
Yeah, the whole world. I mean, let's not act. This was a minus 2,000 underdog. This is a huge upset. I know The Ring posted a post on Instagram, and they were messaging a lot of famous boxers saying, what's your predictions for this fight for Times Square? Everyone was picking Ryan. I mean, that's why this is crazy. This is a huge upset for Rolly Romero. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, also during the face-off that they had prior to the fight, Ryan Garcia or Rolly Romero was saying how much he was killing himself to make weight. Remember, at 135, 140, 147 now, his third weight division, and he looked great. He looked strong. He looked compact. He looked very disciplined in there. It looked as if he was a new refurbished fighter. The performance that he gave was very, very impressive in my opinion. It wasn't anything too crazy, but it was a very disciplined game plan that he followed throughout all 12 rounds and got the knockdown, got the win, and really cemented himself as perhaps a big major player at the 147 now that he's officially the new regular WBA champ. Boots Ennis holds the official belt at that weight division. So, I mean, people were trying to match up Rolly Romero with maybe Boots in there. I think that's a bit too much of a disparity. But people like Blair Cobbs, they were saying, why not have Devin Haney take on Rolly Romero, this and that. So, Rolly Romero with this upset win over Ryan Garcia has really, overturned the fans' opinions about him and seems to have erased any doubts that they had on Rolly prior to the Ryan Garcia fight.
Yeah, but then Ryan Garcia, now his image and his reputation is kind of down the mud because firstly, we got to talk about, fight week coming in. The big story was that Ryan Garcia is looking small. He's not on that Ostarine anymore. He's at 147, but how does he have less muscle than when he was at 143? So this was the whole narrative. And I was like, okay, I think everyone was kind of exaggerating. They were just making stuff up, I feel like. We get to the fight, and he gives that performance. Now, this narrative, it just became so much bigger. I mean, now Ryan Garcia is gonna have to beat these allegations. Now people are saying, off the peds, no more Ostarine, no more left hook, no more timing, no more good Ryan Garcia. So Ryan Garcia, he's fighting these allegations right now.
Yeah, I feel like Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn are almost in a similar path. Almost, I feel like Conor Benn is kind of just now leaving that narrative. I think now he's kind of almost in a sense maybe cleared his name or maybe just pushing, getting his name separated from those allegations. You know, he did a good fight over there in the UK, and I think the people over there are happy about it. But now Ryan has to deal with this, and I think I don't want to say there's some truth to it, but I mean, ever since he was accused, I mean, look against Rolly Romero. He didn't even. I can't even recall a moment where he hurts or he shocks Romero. Maybe like right after he got dropped, Rolly came at him, hit him with the check hook. But after that, he didn't really hurt Rolly whatsoever.
Yeah, it seemed it was kind of like when he got dropped against Tank in the second round, because first round and even prior to the knockdown in the second, Ryan was going guns blazing at Gervonta, applying pressure, constantly throwing. He wanted to get Gervonta out of there early on, and it wasn't until he got dropped that he kind of calmed down and he became very cautious. And then afterwards, I mean, it was a completely different Ryan Garcia that we saw throughout the fight compared to the first and even second round. So this is kind of similar to kind of what happened. I feel he got dropped early, and he's all like, mentally he was already out of it. He didn't come up with any big excuse after the fight. Big thing was, maybe the year-long layoff did play a factor, which it could be true, yes. But I saw a lot of people online because, right now he's getting bashed online. And there was a very interesting comment on his Twitter because people were going at him saying like, oh, no peds. The whole narrative of Ryan Garcia was the left hook on Devin Haney, and he got dropped with the left hook by Rolly Romero. So they were saying, look at you now, ha ha ha, right? But there was an interesting comment that I saw on Twitter. Someone said from Puerto Rock #4belt era on Twitter. He said, nah, you cooked with no peds, bro. The Devin fight got everyone thinking you like that. You never been like that. The same Ryan that got clipped by Luke Campbell and quit versus Tank showed up tonight. The real Ryan. And I got a lot of traction. I got a lot of likes.
Yeah. Wow.
People seem to agree with him. Mm-hmm. Is that true?
Well, that's an interesting take, and that's something that I was thinking about because Ryan Garcia, after winning against Devin Haney, I mean, he beat, like, everyone considered Devin Haney a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter. He was former undisputed at 135. Everyone was saying, obviously Devin Haney has much better skills. Ryan just got to punch his chance. And then Ryan had that amazing performance. Everyone was off the hype of him, saying, I think they did gas him up a little bit. Maybe I gassed him up a little bit too. But I think there's also Ryan Garcia definitely did. This was just a horrible performance. I think he definitely is better than that. Mm-hmm. I think if he's motivated and mentally there, I think he could give a better performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, it's hard for me to give a little bit of slack to Ryan Garcia because then at the end of the day, I mean, he asked for this. All this crazy talk, it all started because of him. And so now, there's a lot of crazy talk around him. So, I don't really feel too sorry for him, but one thing that I can say is that this isn't the best version of Ryan. I think, we have seen better versions of Ryan, and I think he still has it in him. But I just think it was just like an off night type shit. Yeah,
because, I mean, we'd always talk about, he has bad habits, right? Mm-hmm. And I think in this fight as well, I mean, when Rolly would throw that hook, he's always trying to, like, parry the punch, and he leaves his chin exposed. Doesn't have great footwork, doesn't have the best defense. I mean, these were all talking points, for Ryan Garcia, like, all the time. He's not the best fundamentally. He doesn't have, everything really tight, really sharp. But what he did have was he was a killer. I mean, this guy's offense is, like, amazing. His timing, his speed, that's what makes him dangerous, Mm-hmm. So in this fight, he showed, obviously, like, all his flaws were on display, but we didn't see his offense. And that's where Ryan Garcia is supposed to shine, in his offense. There was no timing. There was no speed. There was no letting his hands go. That's why I'm saying, like, where was that Ryan Garcia?
It was off the peds, bro.
No more Ostarine. I mean, did you, bro? His voice changed. You did his attitude, his behavior changed. Come on now.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, I feel like the attitude or the perspective of the people are going to change for sure. Like, for me, look, Ryan Garcia, once he turned pro, there was a lot of traction behind him, and I think he had a lot of fans right away. But I think at the end of the day, I mean, when you look at his record, it's not the best. And I feel like this was one of his only opportunities to possibly become a world champion. and he missed out. He failed that test. And to be honest, I really don't see Ryan Garcia becoming a world champion.
Bro, okay, yeah, I get that, but listen, Rolly Romero is a 3-division world champion. I mean, I feel like if Rolly can get
Isn't he a 2?
They're saying he was a 3.
Oh.
Yeah, even the WBA, I saw they officially posted him saying with a 3. He had like a little chain. That shit was kind of fire. I can't lie to you. But I mean, Rolly Romero, we're talking about like, come on, like listen, yeah, Rolly Romero became a 3-time world champion. Why can't Ryan Garcia become one?
Well, because I mean, he's fought at 135, 140, and at 147, and he has yet to become a world champion. So I mean, that's a little bit of a, I don't know. I feel like we're not going to see Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is going to be the most paid boxer who never became a world champion.
Maybe if Devin Haney becomes a world champ again, they get that rematch, and then Ryan will win. Because listen, everyone had a horrible performance. Like Ryan Garcia, bad performance, and he lost. Devin Haney won, but he also had a shitty ass performance. Like, let's not forget that.
Speaking of which, co-main event, Devin Haney returned after the Ryan Garcia whooping that he got last year against Jose Ramirez. Ramirez coming off a loss against Arnold Barboza back in December. This was, like I said last episode, it was basically a confidence booster for Devin Haney, this matchup. Ramirez, not the same fighter he was when he was back in his prime prior to the Josh Taylor fight. Devin Haney needed a win to kind of get his confidence back and to also push the rematch against Ryan Garcia. You know, this event was basically a build-up for the rematch. But look, Devin Haney, man, I predicted he was going to win easily. He did win easy, but man, the fight was so boring. Everyone online was trashing the fight. Easy work for Devin Haney, yes, but look, everyone already does not like Devin Haney. Everyone always bashes him online. They're always criticizing his style, him and his father. But this was the perfect opportunity for him to kind of change the narrative, you know, be a bit more exciting, take a bit more risk and to showcase that, you can be an exciting fighter at points because let's face it, Devin Haney at this moment in his career is a better fighter than Ramirez. He's levels above Ramirez and he showed it this past weekend. But I mean, if you're so many levels above your opponent, I mean, you can get away with things. Look at Boots, the way he's able to get away with a lot of the risks that he takes because he's a much higher level than his opponent. Devin Haney is a higher level than Ramirez. I feel he could have done enough, or he could have risked a bit more to have been a bit more exciting. Please the fans and say and come out and say, hey, like the Ryan Garcia fight didn't affect me. Look at me, I'm even more exciting now because of it. That was the opportunity this weekend. And what we got in return was a bunch of memes of him running around, a bunch of people bashing his performance, and a lot of people were very unsatisfied with Devin Haney.
Well, rightly so. I mean, yeah, that performance was bad, and that was a Shakur Stevenson, Edwin De Los Santos type of performance, very, very boring. So yeah, I just I don't know about Devin Haney. I mean, he wanted to get his confidence back. He got the W, but I don't even know if he did get his confidence back. Look how scared he was fighting. I mean, this guy was petrified to even get touched by a jab. I mean, it was completely insane and also, I mean, Ramirez, I mean, listen, I'm not going to hate on him that much. I mean, he was going forward, but like his skills just are not there anymore. I mean, he just isn't the same fighter that he was a couple of years ago when he was at the top at 140. So he was trying to go forward. He couldn't let his hands go. But Devin Haney was just our track star running in there, throwing a couple of jabs. And I don't think this was good for him. Even though he got the win, this might have been worse for Devin Haney than Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia lost. But Devin Haney, the PTSD showed. I mean, it's clear as day that his mentality is shot. He doesn't believe like in his chin. He's gonna be like, I'm just gonna try to be the most boring fighter ever and at least try to win. But I mean, there's no killer instinct. There's no mentality. There's no strength in there. It just seemed like a coward performance from Devin Haney.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were bashing him on, and even top journalists on Twitter like Dan Rafael completely bashing him. I mean, everyone was rightfully so disappointed in Devin Haney. expected a bit more. I mean, I'm happy I at least got my prediction right. The fact that it was going to be a clear UD win for Devin Haney, but I'm not happy in the manner that he got it. Definitely do need to see him again. People were now, based on Ryan's and Devin's performance, many people were saying, I don't even want to see the rematch, which is BS. Everyone wants to see the rematch.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I still want to see that rematch. I mean, put that shit at 147 next. I don't care. Make that fight next.
Exactly. The rematch still needs to happen, but I mean, the performance was that bad that people were either being sarcastic or actually meaning that they didn't want to see the rematch anymore. So definitely a disappointing night for the two guys who this event was built for, built for the rematch, for the build up for the rematch, and they both, in my opinion, underperformed severely. And I think this is a big hit to both of their reputations.
Well, how do you think the rematch plays out now? We both saw very bad performances from both.
Yeah, for me, I mean, that fight is for sure going to get made. I mean, it might take a little bit longer now because I think now the people maybe don't want to see it. Maybe. I'm not quite sure. But, I mean, they're for sure going to fight maybe just later down the road. But if they were to fight, when they fight again, Ryan Garcia is going to win. Easy. I just really think that Ryan Garcia just understands he understands how to solve the Devin Haney problem. His style. He just understands how to capitalize on his mistakes. He knows how to impose his left hook and all that stuff. And rematch would go almost the exact same way as the first fight did.
Yeah, styles make fights at the end of the day. I mean, you look at the fact Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney know each other from the amateurs, fought multiple times. I'm pretty sure they sparred each other also in the past. Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia know each other too. They've done sparring themselves. So they all know each other well. And Ryan Garcia is very confident about fighting Devin Haney, more so than Rolly, just because of the styles. Rolly Romero is very unorthodox, awkward, and very aggressive and very big and strong. So he actually has more respect for Rolly Romero's punching power than he would against Devin Haney. Everyone knows Devin Haney is not
Pillow hands Haney.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot more. Ryan Garcia would be more willing to let his hands go against a Devin Haney than a Rolly Romero, and it showed this weekend how that's true.
Yeah, I think after this weekend, it definitely solidified it for me that Ryan Garcia will win the rematch. I there's no doubt in my mind. The only thing, though, is I believe it's going to be a much, much worse fight because Devin Haney is going to start running, like from the first bell to the end, he's just going to be like, don't get dropped. No more memes,
Yeah.
Even if he loses, like as long as he loses a decision and doesn't get like whooped by continuous hooks, then he's going to be like, it's a moral victory. But I don't see Devin Haney winning. It's just his mentality is just completely shot.
Yeah, it kind of sucks for him because he won, right? And he's the guy who threw the most punches, which is very funny stat.
Yeah, he threw the most and landed the most.
The most, yeah. Out of everyone in the whole card, if I'm not mistaken.
Nah, Teofimo landed more.
Oh, okay. But like in between him and like just the main event card,
the
main event fight. Yeah, so that's very funny. But yeah, man, I think this win for Devin Haney, he won, but it's almost at what cost, right? Because then we just talked about it. Fucking the marketing, people don't really want to see him. They don't. Two, it doesn't look like he came back. Like he's not the same Devin Haney that we are accustomed to seeing. And then three, it kind of ruins the plans for the rematch now because now everyone just kind of like, what's the big question? Like, where does he go from here now?
Yeah.
But
I think the rematch still happens next, honestly.
I still hope to see it next. I still wouldn't be mad for it to happen later this year in December or something like that, November.
I see it still happening like right after. So we're just gonna have to see how things build off from here from both fighters. But let's not forget that there was one more big name in the card, and it was Teofimo Lopez, the often considered the number one fighter at 140.
Considered? I think it's pretty apparent.
He is not, because
Matias. Oh my goodness! I knew you were gonna
non-champion.
I knew you were gonna bring up Matias, bro.
No, but Teofimo Lopez got the UD win over Arnold Barboza as well to open up the big pay-per-view main card for FatalFury in New York City. Now I gotta say something. Arnold Barboza, man. my mentality going into this fight, or my thoughts were, Barboza. He's had a lot of fights recently, very active against solid fighters. I mean, he beat Ramirez, who's not that solid, but he beat Catterall.
Yeah, Catterall's solid.
I mean, that solid wins, and he's been active. So I was okay. Maybe Barboza might give Teofimo Lopez some trouble in there. It's going to be competitive. Teofimo's still going to win, but it's going to be a bit more competitive because of how sharp Barboza should be. Come fight night, completely opposite, man. Barboza looked like if he was the guy who was inactive for nearly a year, while Teofimo looked like as if he was the active fighter coming into the fight. Dude, this was a terrible performance from Arnold Barboza. This is a guy who had been calling and begging for a Teofimo shot and did it the right way, beat the right guys, got the opportunity. And what does he do with that opportunity? Nothing.
He froze up.
He did.
I believe he froze up. I mean, did you see how stiff he was?
Yeah.
I mean, to make matters worse, it was in comparison to Teofimo Lopez, who's a showman. He was doing all these dances, doing all this, and it doesn't count as any points, but it's the perception. It made Barboza look like just timid and tense. So yeah, it was a horrible showing.
Yeah, and it showed that, even though Barboza did it the right way, was very active, showcased that, maybe he did deserve that opportunity, he was nowhere near the level needed to beat Teofimo Lopez. And on that night, Teofimo Lopez, Teofimo Lopez compared to everyone else on the card did the best, in my opinion. He did better than Rolly. It's him and Rolly were the big winners for the night. And Teofimo Lopez gave a good, solid performance. I think he could have done a bit better, but I don't think it's his fault because Barboza was very, very neutral and very stiff. Didn't really want to engage too much. Of course, he was able to land one big shot in the 6th round that did seem to stun Teofimo for a bit. But besides that moment, Teofimo Lopez easily cruised to a UD win over Barboza, retained his championship, and went on and called out Boots at 147.
Yeah, I don't want to say I told you so, but I kind of told you so, I never knew. I just didn't think Barboza was going to be on the level of Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo just way too athletic, man. Way too athletic. I will give a little bit of criticism. I think he should have done a bit more. I expected a bit more. It wasn't that Barboza was just like, it was just completely, it was like a deer in headlights.
Robotic,
like he was, so I felt like Teofimo could have done a bit more. But I mean, he got a clear decision. He dominated him. He made him look like nothing. And I feel bad for Barboza because I mean, all those years calling them out, all those years of fighting the right guys to go up the rankings, and then he loses like that. Like, I don't even know if he's gonna get another title shot. That could have been his one and only opportunity. So it was kind of sad to go out like that for real.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I was someone who was going for him, right? I was the only guy here that was gonna go for him.
Loser.
Yeah, exactly. But what's funny is that Teofimo Lopez was offered this fight, from what I've seen, 4 different times, and 4 different times him and his team have turned down this Barboza matchup. And so I just really thought that maybe on a psychological playing field, maybe Barboza, had the advantage over Teofimo Lopez. But I don't know, man. I feel like after the 4th round, it was kind of apparent that, Lopez started finding his rhythm, his groove. He started doing those, showman tricks, those dances and all that stuff. And just Barboza he looked lost. It's like what you said. He looked stiff, very robotic. He didn't really know what to do. And for me, I feel like that I hated that fight more than the Devin Haney fight. One, because I was expecting a lot more. Me, I kind of had like an idea that Haney was gonna fight like that a little bit, be pretty cautious. But I just assumed that Barboza was gonna get that belt like in blood. I thought he was gonna go down as a warrior, go until the last belt, trying to get that belt because he fought for so long to get to that spot, and then he goes and performs like that. Yeah. So I was kind of disappointed in him.
Yeah, very disappointing performance from Arnold Barboza. Looks like he needs to go back to the drawing board. Like you said, this may have been his only shot at a championship opportunity. And it was against the guy that he had been begging for saying, "Oh, I can beat Teofimo Lopez. I'm the one who can do it."
Yeah, that's the funny thing, like how confident he was, and then like considering that performance, it seems like he was just talking out of his ass. Like that was not true.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, he didn't back up his words, and it really showed. Yeah, the thing is, was Teofimo, once he starts getting into his rhythm, his groove, it's very hard to stop him. I would say I would rank this. You know, it was a good performance. I would still say the performance against Josh Taylor was far better than this one. Easily a lot better, but this was definitely one of his better performances at 140. I would rank it in the top, right, or one of the top performances. But yeah, definitely very hard to stop Teofimo when he gets in that rhythm. And he showed out why he is considered one of the top, if not the best fighter at 140. So, you know, next up, he called out Boots. I don't know how true he, or I mean, if he actually means it, which I don't think he should. I think he should stay at 140 and look for a unification bout with Matias after Matias beats Puello. And Matias, you know, I knew he's going to become the new IBF, and he's going to...
Not WBC. I think Puello's
Oh,
WBC.
yeah, WBC. Yeah. New WBC. And he's going to, you know, take over the division soon. So
yeah, I don't know how truthful that is, you know what I'm saying? But I thought it was interesting that Teofimo called out, you know, Boots at 147. Because, I mean, like, Teofimo, he's not a very big guy. You know, he's wide. He got good muscle. You know, he's like big jack, kind of low-key. But he's like short. He's like 5'8", you know? Like Barboza looks like a welterweight. Matias even looks like a welterweight. You know, Teofimo, he looks like a junior welterweight. It looks like his body kind of suits 140. Yeah. And I feel like going up to 147, we're going to get dangerous up there, you know, because his power hasn't been the same at 140. That much is apparent. You know, he hasn't gotten a very hard KO, or he doesn't look as destructive as he was looking at 135. Now, going up to 147... more weight, bigger guys, you know, guys that hit hard. Boots Ennis is a monster. I don't think that's very smart. So, like you said, I agree with Pablo. I think he should stay at 140 and just become the king. You know, just go undisputed, man. Defeat all the everyone else, and you know, call it a career.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna stay at 140 because you know, I feel like recently within these past few years, Teofimo has definitely started talking a lot more. I feel like he's almost gotten that skill or that attribute from his father, because his father is a big talker. I think now he's doing a little bit more, and you know, with the like last year he was calling all like the black fighters monkeys and whatnot. I mean, he was like, my name is Dora, I'm looking for Boots. Yeah. Like, he's just talking out of his ass. He just wants the eyes on him.
Yeah, and in the fight week, what the fuck was he doing with some fucking luchador mask? Like, yeah. I don't know. Teofimo Lopez, he's a character for sure, you know.
People hate him though.
Yeah,
people hate him.
Because I feel like he back then, I feel like he used to be more charming. Like, at least he was more charismatic. Like, but like now he's just kind of like saying some like dumb stuff just to like get attention. I'm like,
he kind of took a page out of Ryan Garcia's book when he was fighting Devin Haney, and he kind of applied it to himself to a certain degree. Yeah, that's what I get from that.
Yeah, because like some of the stuff, like the luchador, I was like, okay, whatever. But like, yeah, some other stuff that he's been saying is just kind of strange. So I still like him though. He's still my favorite fighter, and I think he's gonna go undisputed at 140.
Well, overall, that was the main card for Fatal Fury in New York City. My honest ranking, 1 out of 10, I'd give it a 3.
I think a 3 or 4 is you know, is there. I think it's fair
for the overall card.
Yeah, the event.
3 because, you know, it was a cool background. I like the setting that it was, but overall the fights were garbage.
Yeah,
I think for me, I'm gonna go with like a out of 10. Yeah, 4.5. 4.5.
Yeah, so below mid. This shit failed. That shit failed. Terrible performance or terrible event. Only big ones were Teofimo and Rolly Romero.
But I want to make it clear, no hate to Turkey.
Yeah, no hate to Turkey. No, he did what he could, man.
Yeah.
And speaking of Turkey, you know, after New York, he's all like, fuck, man, I gotta, you know, at least he got a good sleep as he went over to Saudi Arabia and was there for the return of Canelo Alvarez. Now, Canelo Face of Boxing was making his official debut on Riyadh, first time fighting in Saudi Arabia, taking on IBF champion William Scull to become a 2-time undisputed. Now, this fight was, you know, it wasn't in my, you know, big, you know, fights I wanted to see in 2025. but it's the one that we got, and it was all for the build-up for the official fight between Terence Crawford as he takes on Canelo in September. So this fight was needed in order to become undisputed and for both fighters to fight for all the belts later in the year. Now this fight, man, look, bro, this we got done with a terrible event the day prior. Come Saturday, I'm like, okay, Canelo, you gotta do some good work. William Scull is not on your level. It should be easy. Oh my goodness, bro, this fight was terrible. It was worse than the Devin Haney one. This fight was absolutely garbage. Almost put me to sleep. Everyone was complaining. Canelo got the UD win. This fight was a waste of time.
Yeah, it's true, man. It's true. And I was so disappointed too because, I love Canelo. I want to see him fight face-up boxing type shit. You know what I'm saying? But it was just a horrible fight. Horrible fight. And you cannot blame Canelo. I want to make this super clear. It was not Canelo's fault for this fight being this boring. William Scull decided to do a Shakur Stevenson ×2. I mean, this was like a whole new level of running, completely unengaging in the fight. Just running around the ring, looking like a little dancer, never staying still. It takes two to make a good fight. Canelo was going forward, applying good pressure, throwing punches to the body. What else can he do? It's at the end of the day, it's just William Scull, and I never want to see him ever again at a world title fight ever. So good riddance.
I feel like what the one thing that surprised me the most was the fact that let's just for example the three judges who were scoring this fight, all three had different scorecards. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I feel like a lot of people online, I'm talking about people who are actually, within the boxing scene, personalities and stuff like that. They all had different scorecards. I feel like, you had something a lot wider. Mm-hmm. I saw some people have it a lot closer. And I even saw some people have it to William Scull as well, which I found kind of interesting. Yeah. But overall, this fight was horrible. I think this was one of the worst fights that Canelo has had in recent years, or maybe of his entire career. He only landed maybe 55, 56 punches. Yeah. Terrible. Mm-hmm. I feel sorry for all those people that were in Saudi Arabia because it was 6
in the morning.
6 in the morning, and they gotta sit through this boring ass fight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this fight was, like I said, terrible. You were saying Canelo can't be a fault for this performance, but I saw a lot of people who were saying, Canelo still doesn't know how to cut off the ring. That was the main critique on Canelo, that he just can't cut off the ring. He struggles against fighters just like William Scull. Lara is another prime example. What would you say about that? Them criticizing Canelo, saying that, okay, he can't cut off the ring, therefore, that's his own fault for allowing William Scull to run around.
Firstly, I think he was actually cutting off the ring pretty well. I think it was decent the way he was cutting off the ring, but this guy's running. This guy's literally it was crazy. This isn't box. This isn't Cubans are always hailed as these great boxers, right? The Cuban style of boxing, one of the greatest. It looks amazing. Rigondeaux, one of these type of fighters. But this was not boxing. This was straight up just running for the hills. Canelo was applying good pressure and wanted William Scull to engage. It was a complete domination of the ring. Canelo on the front foot, ring generalship completely being utilized. It's just William Scull did not want to engage.
Yeah, I feel like for me, look, let me just say this. Shakur Stevenson said that he kind of saw, or he kind of felt or he understood the criticism towards Scull. They're I understand that a lot of people are saying that Scull is running around, but then he goes, if Scull was the A side, I think he would be winning this fight. And I think at the end of the day, it just really depends on how you score a fight. For me, my own personal scorecards, I had it 8-4, right? Maybe 9-3, but I had it 8-4. I think in some sense, Canelo was able to have moments where he was able to cut off the ring of William Scull and then land a couple shots to the body. But I feel like overall, he didn't do the best job of cutting the ring. I feel like, William Scull did have a big ring to use and whatnot. I think he utilized the whole ring the whole night. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, Canelo's footwork in order to be able to stop his opponents the best that night. I mean, when he fought Caleb Plant, he was cutting off that motherfucking ring, and Caleb Plant knows how to utilize footwork and whatnot. And Canelo had no problem stopping Caleb Plant. Now, I think he's a little bit older. I think it was a little different. Not the best performance.
Yeah, I mean, and with the scorecards, I feel like you can't win a fight like that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would place, you know, there's like 4 different criteria for scoring fights, right? Like clean, effective punching, ring generalship, defense, and I think there's one more, but I can't remember it right now. I don't think defense should supersede ring generalship. I think ring generalship is much more important. Who's pushing the pace? Who's going forward? Who's running, disengaging? I think I place more emphasis over that than like defense, because William Scull, I mean, that was his main priority. His main priority was defense, not get hit. But he was on the back foot the whole night. He wasn't. It's not like they were landing like basically similar punches, effective punches. It was like basically the same. So what else matters? I think ring generalship going forward is much more important. You know, he's engaging the fight. He wants to box, not like William Scull, who's on the back foot, you know, doing some dances. So that's why I think my scorecard, I had it like 10-2. I could see 9-3, you know, but I don't think this was close at all. I just cannot give you a fight. I cannot see you winning a fight and winning a lot of rounds if you're fighting like that.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. If you're the B side, you have to show that you want to take that belt away from the champion. And, you know, Skull, he did a pretty good job of boxing. You know, he did show, the school of Cuban boxing. But I feel like at the end of the day, it wasn't really enough. I mean, I was in agreement. You know, Canelo did win. That one referee or that one judge that gave it 15-13 to Canelo, atrocious. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, Canelo did win this fight, but it was in a way that no one wanted to see.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he showcased the Cuban style boxing. Bro, that was the Cuban style boxing on crack, dude. Like literally non-stop moving. Oh my goodness. I mean, the same memes that they were using, like the sped up of Devin Haney, they did it for William Scull. Yeah. I mean, it was a terrible showing, and I mean, I feel so bad for the people who were watching there in the arena in the morning. I mean, I like how they were like, "How are you gonna celebrate, Canelo? This win?" He was like, "I'm gonna go celebrate with breakfast, man." I mean, they were up all morning, man, on the whole entire night. So this was terrible showing. Very, very bad. I think also I think my personal critique on Canelo for this fight was just the lack of output. Mm-hmm. I mean, he at least throw out some jabs, man. Like he was just relying on those heavy body shots. Those one, just one shot to the body and then kind of stock, move, pressure. Mm-hmm. Shot to the body, stock. You know, it was the same thing. I wanted to see more, at least some jabs to the chest, at least more activity from Canelo, and I think that could have done. You know, he could have gotten more opportunities to land more flush punches, but he didn't do that. I mean, he still got the win. I still saw him win 10-2, 9-3. So easy work for Canelo. Very boring. And now he moves on to fight Terence Crawford. Mm-hmm. And, they had their first face-off. Pretty cool stuff, That's the only exciting thing about this entire night was the fact that they were able to face off for the first time. They're both pretty respectful with each other. Mm-hmm. And Crawford, you just saying, I'm the best, man. Yeah. So I'm gonna beat him on September.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta like that confidence, and that's the confidence you need for you to be delusional enough to go up 2 weight classes and try to fight Canelo Alvarez. Uh-huh. But the funny thing about that though, first face off, they looked like the same height. Maybe Crawford was even a little taller, but he was probably wearing like some good shoes. But I mean, these guys are literally the same height. Mm-hmm. And isn't that insane? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Because for me, it just showed me like how great Canelo is. This guy is so small, fighting guys that are like 6'1". I think Skull was like 6'2", 6'3". He's a tall guy, heavy. These guys are huge compared to Canelo Alvarez, and that just shows me greatness, man. He just going up the weight classes. He don't need the size. The size don't matter. It's the skills that pay the bills, and he's been doing it this whole time. Because I feel like his body frame, he could easily go down to 160, but no, he 154 even. But I mean, it just shows you Canelo is fighting bigger guys And this time he's finally gonna fight someone his size, and I think he's gonna whoop him. I think he's gonna whoop him.
Early prediction.
Early prediction. I mean, Canelo by stoppage. I'm gonna say TKO. Yeah, I don't know about KO. I think Crawford, he's a crafty fighter, but I think it's gonna be by TKO. I mean, just yeah, he's just gonna destroy that body, man. I mean, Canelo has immense power, man. I mean, he can hurt guys that are bigger than him. He's dropped guys that are bigger than him. Crawford is a guy who is a big fighter, even at 154 now. He's just a big dude. But I don't think he's going to be able to handle Canelo's power at all. The speed, the timing. I just think once he gets into the ring that night with Canelo, he's going to realize that he messed up.
Look, I think Crawford. I think Canelo will beat Terence Crawford in September. Thing is, I'm predicting already. Terence Crawford is going to show more balls and more heart than any of these guys that
Berlanga, Scull.
Charlo, maybe Ryder showed big heart, I'll give Ryder that. Yeah. But let's compare him more to Charlo, who also moved up from 154 to fight Canelo. He's gonna show more heart and more balls than Charlo did. He's gonna, because look, Crawford is going in as a top 3 pound for pound fighter. He's moved up, 2-time undisputed champion, multiple time champion in different weight divisions. I mean, we're talking about a legend himself, a generational fighter as well. Also, that Crawford is just, his skill-wise, fantastic. So he has every right to believe in himself that he can beat Canelo. The thing is, man, my only issue with it is, look at his fight against Madrimov at 154. Struggled a bit against the bigger guy. Only fought one time at 154. Now he's fighting at 168. It's going to be over a year since he last fought when he takes on Canelo. 38 years old. I mean, this is a big risk that Terence Crawford is taking. If he's able to get the win, generational win, he's going to be regarded as an all-time great. He's going to go down in history. But the chances of him losing as well are high. I mean, this is a high-risk, high-reward situation. And I think that the inactivity mixed in with the weight and how he's looked against bigger fighters as he's gone up, especially at 154 and now 168, I think it's going to show. And I think that's the reason why I'm favoring Canelo to put a beating on Crawford. I think it's going to be a good performance for Canelo. And that's just my early prediction.
Same, I agree. I think Canelo is going to have a field day with this one. He's going to have real good. He's going to get paid good. But the thing is, I don't know if when he wins, I don't know if they're good. The fans are gonna be happy with it. They might.
They were happy with the Charlo.
They were they?
Yeah.
I don't even remember, but I don't know. Yeah, you never know with these fans, man. The Canelo haters, because Canelo got a lot of haters.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to ask you guys a question. First, I'm gonna ask you guys this: are you guys really happy about this Canelo versus Crawford fight? And 2, do you guys think the public is really excited about this fight against these two fighters?
Personally, I mean, I didn't want to see this fight. I still don't really want to see it. I think there's other things Canelo could do, but it's a money fight. It's happened, it's confirmed. So what can I do? Yeah. In the aspect of the fans, I think a lot of them are kind of excited for it. Yeah. I have seen some critique on it just because of the weight disparity. Also, people are making their own predictions, saying that Crawford's gonna pull a Charlo, or he's gonna the second he gets in there and gets clipped, he's gonna pull off a just survive for 12 rounds. So I've seen a lot of early predictions from people. It's kind of mixed in, but one thing's for sure: this fight, the buildup is gonna be insane. I mean, Turkey recently signed Mr. Beast. And Mr. Beast, he put that Mr. Beast is gonna, do actual coverage, on during events and stuff like that. Everything he's doing right now is to build up this mega fight. He already also announced that Dana White is gonna be the one promoting the fight. So imagine the build up for this fight, dude. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be the biggest fight of the year, and there's no doubt about it that it's gonna be a big money fight, and one that both of them are going to get something out of it.
Yeah, I agree as well. I mean, I don't really want to see this fight. I think there's better opponents for Canelo, but I do think the public is low key majority of the public is happy with it, or like wants to see it. Is kind of excited because they still think Crawford is like this mythical figure. Destroyed Errol Spence in devastating fashion. Mind you, this was years ago. It's been a couple years now from that, but they still have that in their brain. They when they think of Terence Crawford, they're like, oh, you remember his undisputed against Errol Spence? How badly he whooped him. But then they don't realize that, they're in the sky, and Crawford fought again in 154 against Madrimov, brought him right back down to earth. Crawford's human, and that Madrimov fight showed it. Crawford he's a great fighter, but the size was starting to play a factor. The skills were starting to play a factor as well. Madrimov did a great job in that fight. So, and the age, I think, as well started playing a factor. Now we're moving up 2 weight classes, upping the skill. Like, I don't see Crawford, winning this fight. So that's why I think the fans are low key, kind of happy with it, because they're still thinking Crawford is gonna fight like he fought against Errol Spence Jr. But it's not gonna happen. It's gonna be a rude awakening.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of how I feel. Yeah, just like you guys, not really interested in seeing this fight, but it's really good. I think this is a good gap year for Canelo. Easy fight against Scull, another easy victory in September against Crawford, and then then we get the talks of him going up against Benavidez again. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to ask you guys what you guys thought the public thinks about this Canelo and Crawford match is that I think it's kind of like a 50-50. Like, I think people kind of like it. Yeah, some people, I think that's what it is. I think it's like a divided room. Some people like it, some people hate it, and mostly it's because they see Crawford as they have this image, they have this perspective of Crawford. He's the number 2, number 3 ranked guy, pound for pound list at the moment. He has been undisputed champion in 2 different weight classes, and so I think they're just taking that into consideration. And yeah, and then I think a lot of people just want to see the downfall of Canelo. I think, yeah. So,
yeah, we're gonna see what happens. Confirmed September 12th on a Friday, over in Vegas. Should be a huge buildup prior to the fight, and it's one that everyone's gonna tune in for. No matter if you hate Canelo or you love him, or you don't even really watch boxing, you're going to be tuning in for this fight, because I'm telling you, the promotion for it's going to be insane, bro. Insane. But yes, that filled up our week of boring fucking boxing. Terrible, atrocious performances from nearly every single fighter. But the one who will save us is Naoya Inoue. As we're recording this episode, he is set to fight tonight. And I'm praying, bro. Please, Inoue, make this weekend, end it on a good note. It's been terrible. Friday, Saturday have been abysmal. Sunday is the day that Inoue will show out. I'm predicting right now he's going to show out. He's going to,
predict the round that's going to be KO.
All right. Inoue's going to stop him. TKO in the 9th.
9th round, okay. 9th round. Because once the pod is uploaded, we'll know.
We'll know if we got it, bro. 9th round right here, live, man, live. So
what do you think, Rudo?
Yeah, I'm gonna go no more than 8 rounds.
I think he gets the KO in the 7th. 7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9. Okay, fair enough, right? There you go. Our official live predictions. Let's hope Inoue, keeps us awake.
Yeah.
And
no, he will.
Yeah.
I trust in Inoue, man. He is gonna make this weekend worth it.
Oh, please, dude. But let us know down below about FatalFury in New York City. Were you guys surprised about Rolly's performance? What do you guys think about Ryan Garcia? Is Devin Haney washed up mentally? And let us know, does Teofimo Lopez beat Boots at 147? Also, let us know about the official confirmed matchup between Terence Crawford as he takes on Canelo. Do you think Canelo can beat Crawford easily, or do you think Crawford will make history and defeat the all-time Mexican legend? But don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on all forms of social media. We are on X, TikTok, and Instagram. Lastly, we're trying to build up a community on Discord, and you guys joining would be greatly appreciated. But this was Pablo, and I'm with Rudo and Asa, and this was the Last Round Podcast. Thank you for watching.